second game. So I'm going to have a little chat about Jets at the Cowboys. It's amazing. We've gone, nearly an hour into this and we haven't even mentioned Aaron Rodgers yet. Man, I felt well deflated for that. Just the craziness before the game. There was such a buzz all pre-season, right? You had Hard Knocks. Everyone was happy. Rodgers reworked his contract to free up money. That money might now be needed to get a new quarterback, although it doesn't look like that's going to be the case because they've already signed a quarterback, which we can touch upon at some point. But yeah, running onto the field with his American flag, I thought that was a bit much. But okay, it's New York, I get it. 4 plays. And what was our concern about the Jets this year? Was it their D? Nope. Was it quarterback? No. Wide receiver? No. The O-line. And can't remember the guy's name on the O-line. He missed his guy. And yeah, it wasn't a bad hit, but that sack led to Rodgers being out for the whole year and has stopped the Jets from having a chance to win the Super Bowl. It wasn't a big chance anyway, but they're not going to be winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to just say it as I see it. They're not going to win it. Definitely not with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And even more so, not with Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. But to go on to the Cowboys, and they pulled out the win against the Bills. The Bills did everything they could to try to lose that game, and they were successful in the end. But let's not take away from this Jets D. I think there's not been much talk about the Jets D since Sunday. Yeah, because everyone's of it for understandable reasons, talking about Rodgers. But man, did they play good. that front seven, the secondary, just everyone turned up and forced mistakes out of Allen, and they suffocated it. I love watching it. There's a lot of similarities to the Cowboys team, and like these two defenses coming up against each other on Sunday. I was looking at the game and I was like, right, how do I want to go? It's like, well, where would I feel more comfortable? Do I feel more, because they've both got, let's say the Ds are pretty similar. Do I like the Jets D against the Dallas O-line, or do I like the Dallas D against the Jets O-line? When you look at it like that, it's a no-brainer. It's clear. The Dallas D is going to annihilate that Jets O-line. The Bills did. And this Dallas D is special. We've touched upon it a few times already. They are going to eat. And I feel sorry for Zach Wilson. I think he should feign an injury because this could ruin. He is going to get hurt. I think I can see him being sacked well over 5 times. I really can see it. He had 14 of 21 for 140 yards, 1 pick, 1 touchdown. Bless his heart. Like, I feel sorry for him. You watch him play, and he looks like he should still be in high school. Like, he doesn't look. He's not a leader. Like any one of them offensive players, when they look at Zach Wilson, he's not going to fill them with confidence. He's not going to give them that extra yard to get away from coverage. He's not going to lead a team, even like a Tim Tebow did many years ago. He wasn't a great player or quarterback. Sorry, he was a good player, but he wasn't a great quarterback. But he was a leader at least. People wanted to battle and fight for him. No one wants to fight for Zach Wilson. He couldn't own up to his own crap performances last year. So yeah, I see this being incredibly one-sided, purely because I don't see the Jets being able to move the ball. 40-0 against the Giants for the Cowboys. But you look at some of their stats, that was off of 143 passing yards from Dak Prescott. Okay, he only had 143, so they must have rushed for quite a lot. 70 rushing yards from Pollard. Okay, and 77 receiving yards from Lamb. So even the special teams, in terms of punt, kick returns, nothing special. The D got them in play to get all of these points. And they're going to do exactly the same thing again on Sunday. Jets, the D will keep them in because I see Dak Prescott making a fair few mistakes. I'd like to see what the over-under is for picks for this game because I think both quarterbacks are going to throw a few picks. But yeah, that's for me. I'm going Dallas. I think they will cover the spread. I think the spread is 9. I think it's a 9-point spread. I see Dallas covering it easily. It's not going to be 40 points, but I think they will win by closer to 20 points overall. Either of you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
So the Jets do have one thing going for them, and that is the D and, two things. Their defense and their Breece Hall at running back.
Yeah.
Breece Hall is rapid.
Yeah.
And if they can scheme a way to get him in space, their play caller, Hackett, as we found out last year, is not a head coach, but he can scheme plays, and you've got to find a way to get Garrett Wilson the ball somehow on little screens and short, quick hitting throws, and Breece Hall the ball, run the ball, play D. You might be able to keep it close. Like Rob kind of touched on, Dak's always good for a pick. Is he good for 2 picks in one game against this D? We don't know. I wouldn't be in a rush to back the Cowboys to cover 10 with Dak Prescott at quarterback against anybody, let alone this D. So, yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention, sorry, Paul, just quickly, is what's one thing we see when people get injured? Do you remember when Russell Wilson got injured? Was it the year before last, I think it was, and Geno came in and won the game? Usually when a quarterback comes in, they actually have a pretty good game because the D is prepared for a different guy, and then Zach Wilson is a completely different quarterback, and he still put up pitiful numbers. The Cowboys have got a week to prepare for him now. It's not like he's coming in without any prep. So that was the other point I forgot to mention that I'd wrote down, that obviously everyone's preparing for Rodgers and getting Zach Wilson is a completely different style of play, but Cowboys are just working on Wilson all week. They know exactly that there's only a couple of ways that they can have a chance, or that Jets have a chance to try to keep up with them, and that is going to be the screens and the run play. I think it's going to get nasty quickly. But yeah, sorry for interrupting you, Paul. Go for it.
Yeah, say Rodgers was playing and that injury didn't happen, I'd still pick the Cowboys to win this game. So
yeah.
I still, like, with Zach Wilson, like, it's the Jets are playing with one hand tied behind their back, but get the ball to Breece Hall some way, somehow.
Yeah. With Rodgers playing, I would put the Jets covering the 9-point spread. I would bet +9 on the Jets with Rodgers on the field.
But it wouldn't be a 9-point spread.
Wouldn't be a 9-point spread, exactly. But I honestly see this getting out of hand. Nothing to do with the D. I just think Zach Wilson is going to put them in horrible field position. I don't think Dak's going to have to do too much. Again, only time will tell. But yeah, what about you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, similar ideas to you guys. Key matchup, it's the Jets O-line versus the Dallas D-line. I just think that they are going to get absolutely destroyed. And if I'm Robert Saleh this week, I'm basically telling Zach Wilson, you're a game manager this week. No risks. If we have to punt, we have to punt. Because the only way the Jets can win this game is if their defense can win it for them, in my opinion. I don't see them being productive on offense.
No.
Like you said, Rob, I mean, they couldn't really do anything against what I would say is a fairly average Bills defense. The Bills are at best, and I'm being generous, a B+ defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys are S. They are a special defense, and I just think that front seven is going to go wild. And again, you're right. I could see upwards of 5 sacks. So the key for the Jets is Zach Wilson, don't turn it over. If we punt, we punt. I guess that and I don't want to be critical when the Cowboys won 40-0. But Dak Prescott left a lot of meat on the bone in that game. Like conditions weren't great. He did miss, a good few throws in that game. And in closer games, you can't miss those throws. Will this one be close? I think the only way it's close is if Dak has a meltdown. So, unsurprisingly, I'm also picking the Cowboys. And I think they will cover the spread. I'm not saying 40-0.
No.
But yeah, I could see it being very low scoring, this one.
Yeah.